Hi, this is Jay from I Wonder UK. Thanks for joining me. This is a video about sack, or more specifically rucksacks, and it links back to the other videos from 6S's on what you need for wild camping and how to remember it. So we're going to kick off with rucksacks. There's a wealth of rucksacks out there, all come down to a personal choice. Today I'm just going to run through what I think you need to be looking for when you first set out to buy a rucksack and what I use. First consideration when you're actually looking for your rucksack, I would suggest is size. They're measured in litres. For example, 65 in my opinion is big, but I think you can go up to 85. 65 for me is a big bag. You can carry a lot of equipment. I either use that on long distance where I need to be adaptable and flexible in what conditions are going to be over 2, 3, 4 weeks, or when the weather's cold and you're carrying more warm weather equipment, more food perhaps, an extra coat, some more socks, etc. So 65 litres for me is large. I've also got a 48 litre one which I use in the summer and when I'm carrying lighter weight gear or I'm not travelling for so long. But somewhere between that range you'll get your 6S's into. Sorry, it won't be 6S's, will it? It'll be 5S's and the sack, but you know where I'm coming from. Next consideration I would suggest is what are you actually going to be doing with that rucksack? Now, I've been fortunate enough, I bought my Osprey Atmos 65 second hand, and I used that on the southwest coast of Bath. So it's quite heavy overall, and it's a big bag, but it's very, very comfortable. But I wouldn't use that in the woodlands. If I'm going to camp in the woods, go roughhouse and do a bit of bushcrafting, I personally wouldn't use that. I would go for something a bit more. So you need to think about what you personally were going to be using it for. Next consideration, I would say, which I find a little bit strange, but maybe not, is the waterproofing of your rucksack. Not all rucksacks come with the rain cover on. And then the question begs to differ is, why aren't they waterproof in the first place? But they're not all of them. I think it's something to do with weight issues and how they waterproof a bag rather than a flat surface like a tent. But you need to be considering of your equipment's in that sack, how you're going to waterproof it. If there's a cover, if you haven't got a cover, I belts and braces. I'm a little bit old fashioned. I've got a cover, but I keep a rubble sack inside mine, like get from a hardware store. Put that inside there and put all your equipment in. Another option is dry sacks. They work wonderfully and they do help with organising your equipment as well. But even carrier bags, splitting down, and what I do is use different carrier bags for different things. Like, for example, I use an orange one from Sainsbury's from the food, because then I know I'm looking for the food straight away. It's all waterproof, it's inside your rucksack, easy to get to. Things that I considered when I was choosing my rucksack, I like to, stop saying them, I'd like to have a pocket in my belts. Well, the Ospreys normally have them. Both of my Osprey bags have got belts in them. But I've also got a lightweight rucksack that's got belts in them. So you can have your phone, uh, stuff like nibbles, track food, chocolate bars or something for the day straight to hand. So you haven't got to get your rucksack off. Sometimes when you're walking, it becomes a chore to be taking that rucksack off on and off all the time. While I'm talking about that, that's something I learned when I did my first long distance walking trail. The first few days, it becomes a right chore taking that rucksack on and off. Don't let that mentality get into your head. Take it off. Let them straps, take them off every time. And every time you put it back on your back, adjust it back up again. Because over time, they loosen off and your body adapts to it. That's not a good thing. You want to make sure that bag's in a comfortable position every time. So every time you take it off, loosen it off, put it back on and retighten it. After a while, it'll pay dividends. You'll actually get used to putting a bag off and it's not a chore at all. It actually makes it more comfortable every time you put it on. So you look forward to it almost. Top tip. Next thing that I personally look for in a rucksack is I carry two 1 litre water bottles, one on either side. I've tried the bladders, I think they're called, but I don't like the idea of them because you're sucking on water and you can't gauge of how much water you've got. So I like the ones with the pockets on either side. Every one of my rucksacks has got pockets on either side that can hold a large water bottle. And that's the way I like it. But again, it's personal preference. The next thing that I look for in a rucksack, and I think bar one of my rucksack, is what I call a kangaroo pouch. It's like the mesh bit right on the back of the rucksack. I'll give you a quick indication of what I mean. That thing is amazing, particularly on the Osprey. I normally have my poncho in there, a waterproof, my maps, everything can get shoved down in that thing, and the stretchability of it's amazing. But that's to come straight into hand. You don't need to be going through zips and stuff like that to actually find something. So that's my what might I need on a daily basis type thing. The next thing that I look for in a rucksack is what I call the brain, which is basically the top bit of the rucksack. I prefer the ones that have got like an inner and an outer brain compartment, if you like. The outer ones is stuff that I keep my head torch, first aid kit, something like that. So I don't want to lose it, so it's zipped up, but I can get to it immediately. And I find that's where that top part of the rucksack really comes in handy, if that's what you're looking for. The other part with rucksacks that you're only going to find out by trying them is adjustability, the comfort when you've put it on you personally. Like, for example, I didn't realize rucksacks come in different back sizes. I had my back measured, and because I'm a short person, mine's short to medium, for example, but a taller bloke, say 5'10" to 6 foot, would need a longer version. Go to a shop and get that measured, because that does make a difference to the comfort on your thing and reliability of that bag. I've got an Osprey, like I've said before, an Atmos A65, and it was expensive. I got it secondhand, but it's a very, very, in my opinion, expensive bag. But the comfort is amazing. When you walk with them, I'm not trying to advocate Ospreys just personally. When you find a bag that suits you, it's a world of difference. I don't think it's worth cutting your budget on the rucksack, especially if you're going to be doing some long distance walking. But you think that you're carrying everything that you're going to depend on in that bag. If that bag snags or breaks, that's going to be a right ball ache. So reliability must be number one. But I do understand that comes down to budget. It's one of those things that we just have to face up to. But again, have a look on the secondhand marketplace, wild camping gear. There's always stuff up. So you have to be quick, but it's well worth doing. I'm going to try and wrap this up now. This was the third part of the series for successes of what you need for wild camping and what you'd be looking out for when you start doing your research, etc., and ways of remember it when you go for wild camping. Thanks for joining me. If you could subscribe, that would be really appreciated. I think the button's on the side there or down in the description below, and then you won't need to remember where to find this again, because hopefully it will build into an aid memoir for you. So this is Jay from My Wander. I'm out of here.